Hi, Neil here with Covers Camo, your source for custom seat covers. Today showing you the install on the 2019 Chevy Silverado 3500. We're going to walk through all the different steps, teach you how to install it, and if you have any questions, as always, give us a call or contact us through their website, coversandcamo.com. Let's do this. So let's get started on this 2019 Chevy Silverado 3500. Now these seats, this is the 40-20-40 cloth seats. The 20 section right here does have a kind of a vinyl top to it. If you order the 20 section here, it comes in 3 pieces. There's a top section, backrest, and bottom. And what we'll be installing today is the 40-20-40 front seat section. We won't have the rear seats, but we'll talk about a few install tips for the rear seats back there at the end. And again, what we're going to do is start out with this 20 section. We've already done the passenger seat now because the passenger seat is going to be the same install as the driver's seat bucket. So you just repeat those steps for the passenger seat over there. So we're going to start out again with this 20 section. I've kind of started this cover, this top of this 20 section here is kind of a top lid cover, you could call it. We call it the 20 section top cover. And we're gonna come up here and just kind of stretch this around right here and get this elastic stretched around first. And then once I kind of have that stretched around like that right there, what I'll do is try to make sure that everything's lining up straight how I want it to. There is this cutout here for the cell phone holder, so you can still put your cell phone and keys there, and that's still accessible. And what we'll do now is there's Velcro on the back side of this right here. We're going to take this Velcro and connect that up. Okay, so I'm going to take one side, hold it down, connect that on right there. Okay, that one connected on nice. Then we're gonna do this one right here as well. You don't have to pull on these super tight because these don't get a lot of pressure really. It's just, this cover's just so your arm doesn't wear out this 20 section top. Okay, perfect. So that Velcro's on there. I got these elastic sections down and around. You want to make sure they've kind of curved around the corners there. And that's all looking really good right there. Perfect. Okay, so that lid section is done right there. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take call this the 20 section backrest, this section right here. So that's gonna be the next one that we're gonna do. And what we're gonna do here is, this is also a 20 section non-bottom storage. So some 20 sections have a bottom storage, but this one's non-bottom storage. But for this 20 section backrest, here's the cover right here. And we'll walk you through this now. So what we'll do is pop this over like this right here. This is gonna push through the seat right there to the back side. I'm just gonna kind of help it through as I pull that down right there. I'm gonna take this that I've just pushed through right there and kind of pull those sides up and around right there. And now this section right here, there's Velcro right here, and that's gonna connect with that section that I just pulled through. Okay, so I'm gonna take this section and pull it around. And this is, you wanna kind of line this up with the corner So it's kind of lines up right about there. So you try to orient this cover around like that. Okay, so now that I have this pulled around right there, I'm going to connect those two pieces of Velcro on the back side. Pull that down. Make sure that gets a good grip right there. Yeah, okay, perfect. So those are connected there. Now the next step with this, I'm just making sure that gets pulled around nice and tight on the back side right there. Okay, so now we move on to it's called the sticky back Velcro section. Okay, so these pieces right here, these have sticky back Velcro. Okay, so this is Velcro that has a sticky back on it right here. And that sticky back is going to stick on to the console, and then this Velcro is going to stick onto it. Okay, so and the reason for that is to kind of keep this center section of the console open so you don't have straps going across it. So we're going to have 1, 2 pieces right here, and then you're going to have 2 on the back here as well. Now the thing that you want to do is take the alcohol prep pads like this is what I always use, and kind of clean out this console, all the plastic, so there's not any you know, like leather cleaner or conditioner or anything like that inside here, and it's really just the plastic here. And then what you're going to do as well is take like a hair dryer or a heat gun, a hair dryer, and kind of warm up this adhesive, because if it's a cold day, this adhesive won't stick very well. So you want to warm up that adhesive. You're going to stick that adhesive down, and then these are going to stick on. So we'll kind of get that prepped up here. So I've taken this hair dryer and warmed up this adhesive now, and I've cleaned this off already with the alcohol pad. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this off right here, sticky back Velcro here, and stick this guy on right there, and stick it down right there, and just press nice and hard on these so that way they get stuck down as hard as you can. And then what you'll do now is, again, pull this, you want to pull this cover as much as it'll go there, and then we're going to take that and just stick it on right there to that Velcro right there. Okay, same thing right here, stick that on right there. Okay, so that backside is stuck on there, so that should be covered on the back side right there, and good to go right there. Now what we're going to do is take these sides and get them stuck down as well, same method. We have finished that out, stuck these down right there. Now on this truck, the inner lining, this plastic lining right here, this has actually been pulled out. The customer must have removed it for some reason, so that's not in there. And normally that lays kind of a flat pad right here for this to stick down, so I ended up just went at a little bit of an angle right there, and then this one I just went into the trough a little bit right there and trimmed the Velcro a little bit more. But that'll work, that'll hold the sides up. Normally on your truck you would have kind of this inner plastic lining that then these could stick down to, but that worked out for what we needed it to do, and that finishes up that 20 section backrest and 20 section top. The next thing that we need to do is the 20 section bottom, and this one's pretty straightforward. What you're going to do is take these strings that are tied up in shipping, undo these right here on both sides. And fit this down around the sides like this, tuck that in. Okay, and then we're gonna push this through. See it right there. The back side right there, that Velcro then, once I know that it's kind of lined up on the front, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna stick that Velcro down. And that's looking pretty good on the front right there. So now what I'm doing, just give it a nice, good pull and stick that Velcro down back here. You're gonna wanna look as you're doing that to make sure it's lined up side to side. Okay, and the other thing to finish this install here is there's this rope that you're gonna wanna tie around. This goes around the seat belt, just around the 20 section seat belt. And then this one right here, again, goes around the seat belt section, pushes down, and then we're gonna go around to the back side and just tie that off on the back side there. And that finishes that 20 section bottom install. Okay, we're tying this 20 section bottom up now. So I'm gonna throw a loop in one of these over here. Okay, there's my loop here, right there. And now what we'll do is take this string right here, loop that through, and we're gonna just kind of pull snug. Again, you do not need to pull very hard on these. You just need to snug it up. Okay, and that feels nice and snug right there. Now what I'll do is tie that string off so it holds up. And that just holds those corners down on the front up there. Makes it look nice and clean and tight. Okay, perfect. Take that other string, you cut that off, just kind of tuck it up underneath the seat if you want to hold on to the next string for a while. Okay, and there's the back side. So finishes out, so that's clean right there. Gonna be a lot easier to wipe down. Here's the back side covered right here, and there's that lid right there. So that's all looking good there. Now we're gonna move to the driver, backrest, bottom, headrest sections. Okay, now we're gonna remove the headrests. What you need is a little pin, or this is an Allen wrench set, works pretty nice as well. You're gonna push that into, there's this little pinhole right here. You need to push that one in right there, and then you're gonna take this tab and push that tab on the other side right there, and then it releases out. Older Chevys have two pinholes that you need to take two pins and push at the same time, and they release up. But you gotta have that little pin to push through there. So that's the headrest there. Now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna do the driver bottom seat first. I just wanted to show you how to remove that headrest first. And so this will be the driver bottom section. I know it's the driver bottom because on this set it was labeled, but also it gets a little more narrow on this outside section to tuck in, whereas this inside section here is a little bit bigger and kind of a thicker skirt right there. So we're gonna undo these strings right here like that, and start to get this seat bottom oriented how we want it. Get these straps out of the way like that. I'm gonna just start getting it oriented there, and then what we'll do is once this is into position somewhat, I will now take this section right here and push it through the seat crevice between the seat backrest and bottom. This is a part where you may want to put some light gloves on because it's a pretty tight section right here, and it helps protect your hands if you have gloves. Okay, so that's pushed through right there. Just gonna make sure this is looking good on the front side. This string right here, this inside string, it's gonna go on the outside of the driver's seat belt. Kind of tucking some of this in to get it started here. I'm gonna have you come around in a second and I'll show you the how to trim this out on this section right here and kind of get it tucked in. Now this section right here, what you're gonna wanna do is take your trim tool, your white trim tool, and tuck it in to this section right here. So it trims out really nice. This is a manual seat, and you can tuck this in pretty good in this one. The electric seats, it tucks in really nice as well, just to show that this is the manual seat style. Okay, so we got that tucked in right there. Now what we're gonna do is take this string right here, and we need to pass this string in between the seat cushion and this plastic right here, all to the bottom, and then we're gonna grab it from the bottom and pull it out. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is push this in right here, kind of find where I want to pass this through. And it can be a little tricky sometimes to figure out where is the best place, and each truck is a little different on these. But what I do see kind of a slot on the outside of the seat. It's actually on the outside of this bar right here, going down right here. So that's what I'm gonna shoot for with this string, is pushing that down in there. See how it goes. See if I can get it passed down all the way. Sometimes if it's tough to pass it through, if the string's not dropping very well, because it can get kind of tricky to pass that through, I will take the string and tape it onto this fiber stick tool, this guy, and pass it through then, and that can help to pass it down. I may need to do that with this one. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I think it's gonna be simpler to do that. So what I've done is I took the fiber stick tool, took some tape. This is just some medical tape that I had around, and taped it onto the front end of the fiber stick tool. Passed it down again on that same slot on the outside of that bar, and passed it down. And I got most of the fiber stick tool passed through that. So now what I'm gonna try to do is go on underneath the seat and grab that fiber stick tool and the string and finish pulling it through. But I think I need to go on the back side of the seat to find that and feel where it is. So here's the fiber stick tool that I've passed through right here. This is where it came through right there. And so what I'll do now is I'll just pull that string out of the fiber stick tool and pull that fiber stick tool back up. And so now here's my string passed through right there. And I could tie it off straight to the other side where this other string is. Right here, and kind of tie those underneath the seat. We're kind of midway through the seat right here. Or I can take those around behind these posts right there and tie it off. Either one works. Since they're passed through right now on this, I'll probably just tie them up right there. And either way, again, that's gonna keep those sides nice and tight and keep them down doing what it should. So I'll just tie those off right there and we should be good to go. On the back side, there's gonna be this felt right here, and what you need to do is there's gonna be these clips that are clipped onto these springs down below, and you just need to push on those clips and they unclip right there. Okay, and now I'm gonna bring that up and then bring this through. Okay, again, this was that back side of that seat bottom that we're pulling through right here. And before we finish with this here now, I'm gonna reach underneath and tie off these strings down below underneath the seat right there. And so what I'll do is I'll put a loop in one of them. It's really the same principle in all our install videos here. Put a loop in it like that right there. And then this other string, I'm gonna take that one, put it through right there, and then pull that. You won't be able to see this part very well, but I'll pull that tight and just tie that off right there. And again, that's kind of like in the middle of the seat right there. I could have gone around these bars, but sometimes I like doing that where it's in the middle of the seat. It seems to still work just fine. So what I'm doing now is just tying that string off right there. Okay, we're good there. Got that string tied. Now what we'll do is take these straps, and again, both driver and passenger bottoms are gonna have these same straps here. This middle section, this middle strap right here is gonna go underneath, go to a solid bar, and then back to itself. So I'm going underneath, feeling for a solid bar underneath the seat here. And solid bar or spring, there's these little metal bars underneath your seat that you can hook onto. So I found one there. Okay. And that's coming back to itself. This is called the safety strap. My Uncle Tom, he originally designed this, and it's a pretty cool little method. It goes forward right there and cinches down, okay? So that's to make sure that that strap doesn't, or that seat cover doesn't ever slide forward because it's hooked onto something solid. Now, not all vehicles have to have that, but especially if you're really using it to get in and out of all the time, it's nice to have that safety strap. And okay, so now we're taking these straps, these two side straps, pushing those forward, and they're gonna get cinched down onto those front buckles up there. Taking this strap from the back side, passed it up to this buckle, gone through the middle slot and then through the outside slot, like that right there, and then cinching that down. Now what I like to do is, as I'm cinching that down, I like to take one hand up here and push on the seat cushion, kind of compress that down. It gives it a nice form fit as you do that. Okay, so that's cinched down, and now that that's down right there, what we'll do is we'll take the extra strap, just that extra loose strap, and just tuck it up underneath the spring. Just kind of get it off the floorboards there like that. Just give this one more pull right there. That's looking really good right there. Okay, so now that seat bottom, that is all done. I'll probably take this trim tool and tuck this in over here one more time, just to kind of finish that out. Okay, that's looking good there. That seat bottom's done there. Now what we're gonna do is the driver backrest. We're doing the driver backrest now. And again, these seats here, these seat covers are made from the charcoal soft touch and black soft touch, but the install is the same on any of the materials that you choose. So We're gonna put this on here. Now, this cover, the outside section, it has an opening right here. This is for the airbags, and we'll show you finishing that out, but that airbag opening needs to be on the outside of these seats, because these seats do have side airbags, and if the airbag ever needs to deploy, it can push through that airbag section. So we're gonna pull this down here. Okay, so now this right here, we're gonna pop that over, show you how that should finish out. These have a hole that's pre-cut right here, and you just need to pull that over and tuck it underneath like that. Okay, so yeah, that goes pretty easy when it's soft touch simulated leather, because you're not having to stretch it too much. There's a little bit more give to this simulated leather here. Okay, so we're pulling that on. Trying to get everything to smooth out here. Just getting both sides pulled down like that. Give it some nice pulls there. Now what we're doing is taking this front section, we're gonna push this through the seat right here. Helps if you move that seat forward a little bit, opens that space up just a little bit. Okay, now that I got that pushed through most of the way, I can go to the back and finish pulling that through right there. So we'll move to the back side. Okay, now I'm pulling this through right here, and I'm using one hand on this other side right here to kind of take this hand over here, and I'm pushing on the front of the cover to kind of push out any excess slack back there and make sure it's lining up nice. Okay, and that's looking really nice and lined up and smooth on that side. So now what I'll do is come on this side right here and make sure it's looking good and lined up, and take this, give it another nice pull, and stick that guy down. Now this, what I'm doing here is there's this felt right here, and Georgia came up with this install method, which is really cool. So there's this felt right here, and then there's this Velcro on that bottom seat cover. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking this right here and sticking that down. I've had some people try to say, oh, like I need to stick that felt to this Velcro right here, but no. What you need to do is just take this felt right here and stick it to the bottom seat cover. There's Velcro on the top of it. All you need to do is just take that felt, stick it down, sticks right on, and man, it's a sweet little system like that. Really cool install method. It really has simplified the install process there. Okay, and now what we're gonna do, now that that is stuck down, we're gonna take this original felt right here, and I like to kind of tuck this back up a little bit, kind of that excess, like right there, and then take these clips and you're gonna reach underneath. These are gonna clip back onto the metal springs that they were clipped onto before. So there's one. I kind of just reach underneath and you just find where that metal spring is. Just kind of feels like a little metal bar, and it kind of curves a little bit. You just put that down right there. So now that is held on tight. Now what we're gonna do is line this up, making sure that these two corners line up pretty good, and then stick that guy down to that felt right there, to this gray original seat belt. Okay, perfect. So then you can see, this is looking nice and covered back here. It's gonna be a lot easier to clean back here. Okay, now I'll just show you the airbag. So what you'll need to do to install this is just simply attach this. There's 3 tabs of Velcro on this truck, and just attach those 3 tabs right there. And you could leave that out like that, or sometimes if it has a large enough seat, plastic, you can tuck that on the inside. But this one looks like it's pretty tight right there, so we'll probably just leave it like that right there, and then that connects up right there. And now all we need to do is the headrest section. So this is the front of the headrest. As you can see, this customer chose to do a custom logo, and if you ordered it standard, it wouldn't have any logo on it. It'd just be, you know, whatever trim material that you choose. So this one's black soft touch. It'd just be this, you know, normal black soft touch right there. But we do have some logos that are already built up. You could choose from those. We have like an elk and a black oval, or a deer and bear and some other cool things like that. But to orient yourself, there is hook Velcro here and loop Velcro here. So the hook is, this rough stuff is going to be on the front side of the headrest. We're going to compress this down. You got to compress this down as you're putting this on. A lot of headrests are pretty tight. This one's not too bad actually. So again, I'm pressing down and kind of pressing as I put this on, and I just alternate side to side. It's nice to do a logo. It kind of personalizes your headrests and your seat covers. If you want to do your own custom logo, you need to contact us and work that out. Or some people will take their headrest to a local embroidery shop and put a custom logo on that, on their headrest seat covers once they get it, and that's another good option. Okay, so now that we got that mostly on there, what we're gonna do is just kind of make sure we're lined up here like that. That's looking good. And now we just need to attach this Velcro down here, down below. Perfect. Okay, so here's the front. There's a top, side section, back. That's how it should all finish out right there. Now, to put these back in is quite simple. You just put it in. You don't need that pin for putting them back in. You just push that tab down if you want it to go down all the way. And there you go. So it's in. Sweet looking. Okay, so if you're doing the back seats, let's say you ordered for the full crew cab or double cab, whatever you have. If you're doing the back seats, here's a few quick tips on the back seats that will go. So if you're doing the back seats on your Chevy, here's a few quick tips for you, and a little bit of how the seat covers are going to go on. This is a crew cab, so it's the rear, the cab is a little bit larger, and it has a rear armrest that pulls down like this. There would be an armrest cover for this, and the armrest cover would tuck in underneath this piece, right, like that. Trims out really nice, and then there's a liner on the inside of this section. This is called the 60 section. The seat itself is called 60/40. There's a larger 60 section over here. On the 60 section, there's this armrest liner that goes in here, and it tucks in right like that into that section. You're going to use a trim tool. You're going to push it up around those corners. That's probably the tightest part about this seat, is kind of pushing that up around those corners and tucking that in. Trims out really nice. Looks really good when you're finished though. And there's also a flap that tucks in right there underneath that. So that finishes out, and that section finishes out really nice. And now this 60 section backrest, and actually the backrest on these Chevy seats, they do not fold forward like Ford seats. So the headrest, well, what you're gonna need to install it is you're gonna need to pop these headrests out, and these headrests do have 2 pinholes. So you're gonna need to use 2 pins and push those in right there to pull that headrest out, up and out. Okay, so you'll remove the headrest, take that out, just like we showed you with those pins. You remove those, and then you'll take the cover, and what's gonna happen is the cover, the 60 section cover, is gonna come over to here, it's gonna tuck in, and then there's gonna be these straps that go down the back side of these right here. Now, to get those down the back side, you're gonna wanna lift this seat up right there, because that creates another like 1.5 to 2 inches of space back there. And so then you can pass those, there's these straps that go down, and then there's buckles on this 60 section backrest, and there's buckles right down here. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take those straps, reach underneath, and weave them through those buckles, and then pull it up tight, and that's gonna then finish that 60 section backrest. The backs are the hardest part on these Chevy seats because this backrest is tight up against this cab. The bottom is super easy. It's just like a sleeve. It just pulls over right here. There's Velcro that sticks down to this, and Velcro that comes around and sticks down. I actually think it comes and sticks to itself. But again, it's just like a sleeve on these, so that the bottom's quite simple actually. And then the headrest, pretty simple, just cover that pulls over and attach it. You know, it's, I believe there's Velcro or elastics that just kind of hold that cover on. So those are simple. Really, it's just these backrests that most people get tripped up on. And again, the biggest tip I can give you is use this seat, move it up and down to create the space back there that you need to do that. And then also, one thing I'll do is when I'm finishing these straps to buckles on this back side, one thing I've found is that to create a little bit more space for my hand when I'm underneath the seat pulling those up, it's better to pull that seat down over me like this, and I'm even laying down on the cab like this sometimes to create enough space for my hand to pull that up. And so I'll lean that seat down like that and then cinch those up tight right there. So a couple little tips there. Again, we have some other videos explaining that a little bit more, but if you're watching this video and you watch the front seats, that's a few tips on the back seat there. Always happy to go over any questions that you might have. And thanks for watching this install video on the Chevy 2019 3500. Thanks. Thanks so much for watching. Again, this has been Neil here with Covers and Camo, your source for custom seat covers. To see more videos like this, go to coversandcamo.com. Again, that's the place to see more videos of trucks, Jeeps, side-by-sides, SUVs, cars. Yes, we do. We offer seat covers for all of those. Now, if you have questions, or you know, you're wondering either if it's your install or maybe you're trying to build up a set, feel free to contact us. Shoot us an email or give us a call. We're happy to help give our recommendations for what might look good for your vehicle, or if you've already bought the seat covers and you're wondering a little bit more on how to install them or clean them, we're happy to answer questions like that. Again, you can contact us and see more at coversandcamo.com. Thanks.